Boker Tov.
Boker Tov, everybody. I am drinking my aroma coffee. It's not in English at all. My aroma coffee, which is the place to get your coffee in the morning, in a place called Emek Rafaim, and I'm actually standing on some train tracks. This is a park that's called the Misila, which means the walkway. These train tracks that I'm standing on were the end of the line. It winds up about a half a mile up at the first station. The first station was the last stop on the Orient Express. So if anybody's ever heard of the story by Agatha Christie, Midnight at the Orient Express, they're talking about the Orient Express train line, which was a train that was able to get you from mainland Europe into the Orient, into the Middle East, which is here, and it ended here in Jerusalem at the first station. So this train line would go from where I'm standing straight up, actually that way. You can see people are just walking straight up through Lebanon, Syria, Turkey, crossover into mainland Europe. And this is the way people used to travel to Israel back in the 1800s when trains were first invented, and people would come, like people like Mark Twain would come to Israel to visit, which he did. They would come by a train, they would take a boat to Europe, or they would take a boat to Egypt and then travel north to Israel, or they would take the train from Europe, take the Orient Express through Russia actually also down into Israel, and it would end on this exact train line. They turned the train line into the Misila, the walkway, and now people walk up and down. It's a park. There are exercise stuff, like I told you yesterday. There's there'll be a ninja park somewhere around here. There's also the free lending library. So this particular community is called Emek Rafaim in Hebrew. In English, it's called the German colony. Many German Protestants came here in the 1800s, and I'll show you some other. We're going to go to a leper colony in a minute, or a little later. So many German Protestants came here in the 1800s to try to settle a community of Protestants here as well, so that there wouldn't be a Catholic majority, and they would be represented here as well. So it was originally called the German colony. The Knights Templar were also here in Emek Rafaim. So if you turn around, if you just look at that house, that's a Templar house over there. There's another one to the left. These were where the Knights Templar came. So if you ever watched the movie Kingdom of Heaven, which you shouldn't have because it's a little inappropriate, or there's, whatever, kissing scenes as we say, that's all about the Knights Templar coming on crusades to Israel, and they settled in this area called the German colony, and in Hebrew we call it the Emek Rafaim. We'll come back a little later and you'll see some more interesting sights.